What up, Rams fans, and welcome to the Ramily Insider Week 2. I'm Jeremy Pearl, joined by the insider himself, Mr. Ryan McKenna. How you doing this week?
Absolutely fantastic, Jeremy.
Glad to hear it. So, big week for Rams men's soccer, ranked for the first time ever. They come in at number 10. They are currently on a 17-game unbeaten streak dating back to last season and recorded the first ever win for Ryerson at U of T. What a weekend for them.
What a weekend for them, Jeremy, and it's just awesome to see another Rams team nationally ranked. You know, back whenever you and I started here at Ryerson, it's crazy to think that we had no nationally ranked teams, and yet now here we are, men's basketball, a team that, you know, has the potential to be nationally ranked and has been in the last couple of years, and now men's soccer. The sports culture here at Ryerson, it continues to grow, and it's great to see.
Don't forget about women's volleyball. Last year finishing fourth in the OUA, potential to be ranked again. We'll find out later in the year. Now, our women's soccer team, unfortunately, losing to U of T, but a competitive game.
Well, I mean, last week whenever we spoke to head coach Kevin Suter, he sort of mentioned that, you know, as long as they can keep it close with U of T, then, you know, he's going to be happy with the result. And they did keep it relatively quite close with U of T. U of T is always a strong team, especially in the women's soccer division. And they did keep it close. And they haven't really been blown out yet this season, which is, you know, taking positives away from at least last season.
On the show, we will hear from a men's soccer player in Jacob O'Connor, as well as a women's soccer player in Niki Paiva, so look forward to them later in this show. Men's hockey opened up their schedule this week against Laurier, a 3-1 loss. Dominic Alberga scored his first goal as a Ram. What'd you see in the game?
Well, I saw a lot of new, fresh faces and, you know, a lot of getting the jitters out. First time on the ice, first time, you know, well, not first time on the ice because they've been in training camp for the last month or so.
As a team, though.
As a team, exactly, and, you know, facing competition, and that's the big thing. And even though the result wasn't what they were looking for, it was still a lot of positives to take out of it. Troy Pascam, who spent the summer really working on his game and at the gym, working hard, getting back into game shape, and really putting the effort in for this season. He looked really good.
And he's going to be very important to their success.
He's going to be very important. Those three goalies that they have are going to be very important. But no, always it's first game of the season, right? So you can't really look into a whole lot. And the team, they're fairly set, but they still got a couple more cuts to make, I think. And this weekend is going to be big for them, but, you know, there's still a long ways left until the season starts, and there's still lots of things that can change.
Now, the women's hockey team, they had quite a busy weekend, winning 6-1 in their first game against Leaside Midget, then losing to newcomer in the OUA, Laurentian 3-2 in a very close and hotly contested game, and then they finished off with their first ever alumni game. What do you think of the weekend for them?
Well, Friday was great. They had really good line combinations, in my opinion. I really liked the Melissa Ronsberg line. I really liked the Michelle Evangeliou, how she played all weekend, actually. Michelle Evangeliou was one of my favorite players for the Rams women's hockey team. On Saturday against Laurentian, she was all over the ice. She was really going into those gritty areas, really going hard to that, which is very nice to see out of a young player in her second season. So look for that sort of stuff to continue. The alumni game, pretty cool. You know, the Rams only, as a varsity team, only have 2 alumni, but it's one of those things where you got to start somewhere, right? And that's sort of nice to see. But in regards to the actual team playing, I think Laurentian, I was a little bit disappointed, I guess you could say, with the result.
Yeah.
I thought they definitely were able to beat that team. But, you know, still getting the jitters out of the way.
But that's something that's kind of plagued them, you know, being able to finish goal scoring and whatnot, and hopefully that won't be the trouble this year.
But another big thing for them, too, that I really like from this past weekend, and this is my first time seeing the team on ice, is the defense. Way stronger than in years past, and just really the whole recruiting class in general. And we're going to have to look into that as the weeks progress and as the season gets going. But this recruiting class, third season, it's the best that we've had, and I know that's easy to say because it is our only second real recruiting class, but on defense, we've got some bigger bodies. We've got people that can move the puck a lot smoother, make those hard, crisp passes, and that's going to be big.
Coming up next, our first interview, women's soccer player Niki Paiva, her first year forward, coming up next. We're here with first-year Rams player Niki Paiva. How you doing today, Nikki?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. So why Ryerson?
Well, the environment's awesome, being downtown Toronto, right in the heart of Toronto. There's always stuff going on, so that was a good reason. But then the main reason would probably be the girls. When I came for the first time, they were very arms open. They were very nice. They were very supportive. They're a bunch of great girls. So that's probably the main reason.
What were your main expectations of transitioning from high school and club to CIS level soccer?
I expected it to be a lot faster, which it definitely is. I expected it to be a much more physical game, which it definitely is. And all around, I expected it to be a much different kind of soccer.
Nikki, is there anything that you came to Ryerson and now playing a few games into the season that you didn't expect?
I didn't expect it to be as physical as I expected it to be physical, but not as physical. So that coming from club where it was like, yeah, it's pretty physical, to now university where like there's a lot bigger girls than me. Like I'm probably one of the smallest one on the field, so I definitely have to prepare better for.
Now, Nikki, you're the only goal scorer for the women's Rams team so far this season.
So far.
What's that been like, and what's it been like? Did you expect to be so involved in the team so early on in the season?
Well, I didn't expect to be that role. I didn't expect to be the person who takes the corners. I didn't expect to be the person who took the free kicks, but I got that role. And when you get assigned a role, you have to have outcomes, right? And having scored 2 goals is awesome. The first one being a penalty kick. Coach Kevin put me on the ball, and so I was like, all right, this is my time to shine. So I did it, and I scored, so it felt great having that as the first goal. And then second goal, it was more of a team effort. So Karina Evans actually pressured the ball, and it happened to pop up right into my foot, and then I put it away. So it's not just an individual thing. It's more as a team thing, and everyone on this team has attributes that they can contribute to the game, to the success of winning, right? So it's awesome being part of that. So, yeah.
Now, you do have such a young team, 11 new players. Where do you see the team going forward?
Well, yeah, we're definitely a young team. A lot of our starting lineup, a lot of our rookies, actually. So this team has a really bright future. We have a lot of expectations. Coach Kevin has this view he has of the team, and it's definitely getting there. So we're definitely a young team. We're going to get there, and I think we're turning a lot of heads already with the scores being only like 1-0, 2-1. Like, we're not getting blown away, which is awesome, and it's only going to get better from here. So
Great. Well, first year forward, Niki Paiva joining us today on the podcast. We're going to have Jacob O'Connor coming up next. Thanks for joining us, Nikki.
Joining us now on the Ramily podcast is a player for the men's soccer team, Jacob O'Connor. Jacob, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, Jacob, you guys are now nationally ranked number 10 in the CIS. Congratulations on that.
Thank you again.
You've been with the program for 4 years now. What does that mean now to be nationally ranked for the first time?
Well, we've been thinking we should have been ranked for a while now. Maybe past couple of years, couple of times after some big wins, we've been looking for the ranking. We haven't got it. So I think maybe it's a bit overdue, but it's just nice to get the recognition. It's not like a huge deal. Like, we have bigger goals in mind for this year, but it's definitely nice to get recognized. And just especially when I first got here, the program wasn't the best. It was a huge celebration whenever we just made the playoffs. So to get from there to now being nationally ranked, it's just a nice little step. Shows how far we've come in these last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, like you were just kind of saying, you've been with the program for the last 4 years. The program wasn't as great as it is now. What has it been like to be part of that transition, kind of be part of the group that's really brought Ryerson to the front of, soccer?
Yeah, well, it's nice to be here from the beginning. It's just like every year it's basically just the culture changes like that little bit more. So the standards are a little bit higher. Everyone, like every year it's like we get a little bit earlier to practice. Like first year is like people showing up 5 minutes before. Then the next year it's like people showing up 15 minutes and 30 minutes. Now everyone's there an hour before practice working on stuff. It's just a culture shift basically. It's just a switch from we're happy to be here, we're happy to be in the OUA to now it's like we want to win every game.
That's fair enough. So, Jacob, you guys, over the past couple seasons, you've struggled to get past that certain point of the playoffs, the OUA quarterfinals, last year against Carleton, losing in overtime. What's different about the team this year that's going to get you guys over that hump?
Well, I think maybe we've had more talent in years past, but this year the team is a lot grittier. Like I said before, guys, we want to win every game. We also have really good chemistry this year. I think every single person on the team is like, you can't really point to one person to who's like holding the team together. It's just like everyone's doing the role from number 24 to number 1. Like everyone's just doing their part. If people get injured, another guy has no problem coming and stepping in. Whereas in years past, maybe we've always had depth, but it just now everything's clicking and everyone's performing. So I think that'll help us out for sure.
Jacob, you mentioned earlier that you guys had some goals going into the season. What are those goals?
Well, usually at the beginning of the season, we kind of break it down into a few phases, and we look at the games, and like realistically, we look at the results that we kind of want to aim for over the different stretches, because different parts of the season, we're in different phases of development, and so basically we just have like certain records that we want to achieve throughout those three phases of the season. So as a team, I'd say that those are the only real goals we have, but I know that as veterans who've been here for a while and have had those tough losses in the past, for us, it's always to go to nationals, and to win nationals. I think if that's not your goal, then you shouldn't really be playing. So I think that'd be our goal for this year.
Now, you guys are currently on a 17-game unbeaten streak dating back to last season. How do you continue that this weekend playing Trent, a very tough team in Queens, as well as RMC?
Well, every game's important. We started off well now, so we have 3 wins and a tie, and we want to get the high seed possible for the playoffs. We want to get the top 2 seed, and we're gunning for first. So Carleton started off really well. Right now, they're first in the country. They got ranked first yesterday, so we're just trying to keep pace with them right now. So every game matters. We can't drop points because they're not dropping points.
Jacob O'Connor joining us on the Ramily Insider. Jacob, thanks for this.
No problem.
Thank you to women's soccer player Niki Paiva, as well as men's soccer player Jacob O'Connor, for joining us on the show this week. Both exceptional athletes, and look forward to their careers here at Ryerson really kind of continuing and blossoming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Niki Paiva, she's going to be great in years to come for the Rams. 11 new players on that team. That's crazy, Jeremy. And just, building that chemistry between those 11, and then you add on the rest of the team who's been here last year and the year before that, it's going to be great. And then Jacob, great guy, great soccer player. He's definitely going to help the Rams. You can't hurt them, especially his veteran leadership down the stretch.
Exactly. One of those leaders in the defensive line, kind of holding the back. Now, they've got a big weekend coming up, both of them, playing Trent tonight and then traveling to Kingston to take on Queens and RMC. Should be potentially a sweep for the men. Women can possibly get 2 wins out of this.
I think it's going to be a big weekend for both teams, especially the women. It's going to be a great test for them. Teams that, are around their caliber, I'd say, at this point in time. They have a chance. Let's see if they can grab it.
Now, men's hockey team, they've got 1 game this weekend against UOIT. What do you expect out of them with their roster pretty much finalized?
I expect much of what we saw last weekend against Laurier. Just, trying the different line combinations as head coach Graham Wise. That's what you got to do. Just try the different stuff. Preseason's time, work out your kinks and all that other fun stuff, and get guys on the ice and try to make them learn the systems and that sort of thing that he has. And I don't know. Prediction-wise, I don't really have one, just because it's just going to be another one of those preseason games. It's working at those little details.
Finalizing the roster,
exactly,
and kind of seeing who the scratches are and whatnot. Absolutely.
Preseason.
Exactly. Now, the women's hockey team, another busy weekend, taking on University of Massachusetts, as well as Northern Alberta Institute Technology, and then finishing it up against the dreaded Carleton, who we've struggled against in the past.
Yeah, but I mean, much like men's hockey, the women's hockey games are even more crucial, and I say that because, they have a new head coach in Piala, and the players are still trying to learn his system and his tendencies. I know last weekend at the women's hockey game, they had a little bit of difficulty communicating with him whenever they getting into the penalty box. So there's just those little things that they need to work on, and it's communication between the players and the coach, and if you can work those things out before the actual season starts and start the season off with a bang, then that's what these preseason games really mean.
This weekend, men's volleyball hosts the alumni game. Great thing that they always do.
Yeah, it's always great to see, and it's a great opportunity for some of these new guys to actually come out here. But it's also an even better time to see some of the guys that, were Ryerson alumni that are coming out. Either they moved on to be on the senior national team or the junior national team, or they've the Rams alumni in volleyball, it's quite prestigious, and it'll be great to see these guys back on the court once again.
Well, that will do it for week 2 of the Ramily Insider podcast. We'll see you back here for week 3 next week. Ryan McKenna, I'm Jeremy Pearl. Have a good one.